Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Political Vigilante. I'm here with Chris Mancini, who is also my co-host on Comedy Film Nerds. We have a YouTube channel. Check it out. Give it some love, some likes and subscribes. We could use a little help. We want to talk. We do a weekly movie review podcast and a YouTube channel, and we wanted to talk about
We're cross-promoting.
That's what we're doing. This is a synergistic, hybrid, multi-platform, corporate speak, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
There's our documentary in the background that we did, Earbuds. The podcasting documentary.
We're making a branding ladder tunnel.
Oh, God. Some marketing asshole is going to hear that and just jump all over that. Oh, I mean, branding ladder tunnel. Oh, God. It's going to be horrifying. We're going to see that in 6 months. That's going to be on the front of Ad Week. So... but since we've made a documentary, and we wanted to talk about what some of our favorite sort of political or socially conscious or social commentary documentaries that you've seen.
It's a classic. It's a go-to, but I always liked Inconvenient Truth. And one of the reasons I really liked it, not just the way the science was presented, which I liked, but the thing that it does that all good documentaries do, it shows you a human side of something. And it shows a human side of Al Gore that we've never seen before.
Yeah, we just thought he was
robotic and the guy that rolls his eyes on debates and on the campaign trail and have us a sense of entitlement. So because that's what we saw, during the campaign and why he lost. But
didn't campaign in his own state. Yeah, I fucked up a lot of
stuff
things.
like that. Yeah, there's a few. He made a few mistakes, but one of the biggest takeaways from that movie, and it was in every review, is like, oh, if this is the Al Gore we would have seen on the campaign trail, probably would have done a lot better. So what it did was it humanized Al Gore and why this means so much to him.
Yeah.
Why climate change means so much to him. Why it's so important. What's happening, what can be done about it, and what's being done to stop it. So I thought, like if the movie was one or the other, it wouldn't have been as good. If it just showed Al Gore in his life, I'm like, okay. If it just showed climate change and the science behind it, it also would have been not as interesting. But the way the movie went back and forth between those two things made it a really good documentary. So... that was probably one of my favorites.
And I would recommend then also seeing Inconvenient Sequel, which is it's rare that there's a documentary sequel, but with this particular subject, climate change, which is so important and is the most important issue we are facing.
That must still be happening then.
Yeah. It really showed that sort of like update, and here's what's happening. Here's since the first one, what it... new numbers, new research, new data.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of sequels in documentaries.
No, you don't. Yeah. And it showed what you can, how you can update stuff and keep people, and like new ways to get involved. That's the other thing cool about Inconvenient. Sequel was now he has this whole like the Al Gore Climate Institute.
Right.
And so that
you can get involved and help.
So.
You just gave me a gift.
Oh, you got a gift.
Yeah,
all right.
So pandemic.
Look at that.
Cthulhu.
Oh.
So this is, speaking of climate change.
That's what this is on.
Yeah.
But the doc I really like, I like recommending is Fog of War. And that's with the interview with Robert McNamara about how we got into Vietnam and how it kept sort of expanding and they kept making these decisions in the moment, and it sort of snowballed from there. But it's really relevant to today as we are starting we want to go to war in Syria and everywhere else, but it's really kind of, there's Neil T. Weekly.
He's getting water.
Well, how you doing? He's a columnist for our channel, so check that out.
We're about to record one.
We're about to record one right now. But that's the thing. I would recommend Fog of War. That really shows the missteps that are still pertinent today.
It was more than just interviews with him too, right?
Oh, it was interview with his Vietnamese counterpart.
Right.
And so it was really cool. It's a doc I would highly recommend.
Cool. And there's been a lot of political docs, and there also has been a lot of like socially conscious docs too, like, and a lot of corporate docs too. Like Food Inc. is a fantastic doc, and it shows that like, you know, there's only about 4 companies that are making your food. Like when you go to the supermarket, you think, oh, there's food everywhere, and like, and then when they actually go through which company owns all these other brands, you realize that food is a monopoly too, and the way they make it and grow it is also a monopoly. So
just like the media.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like everything.
Yeah, and and it was what surprised me the most about that was that you know, that the way everything was down to almost like an assembly line to make food. And one of the reasons is that we've got a lot of people to feed. There's a lot of people to feed every single. There's more every single year. And, you know, when you go to, you know, places like a Whole Foods or Trader Joe's where you can get more organic and better food, it also shows like there's corn subsidies. So it makes it cheaper to make corn syrup than it does to actually grow cane sugar. Like it goes through all these interesting things. And, you know, we've been saying this for years. We even talk about it on the podcast when we talk about these documentaries. In this country, it costs more to get less shit in your food. It costs more to have something that's more natural than it is to get something processed, because
to just grow natural organic food as Mother Nature intended costs more money than getting some processed thing.
Right, exactly.
Which is insanity.
Yeah, and one of the reasons is because of the subsidies and the of the corn subsidies, because they, you know, there. I think King Corn is another great documentary where it shows that corn is in everything. Everything. You know, everything. Like, you know, I think corn syrup is one of those things that people kind of got savvy to a little bit. So some manufacturers are taking it out, and like pure cane sugar. You know, sugar's still not that great for you. Yeah. So just, you know, but it did go through. There's a lot of information online too, is how your body breaks it down differently. Even if you have like natural cane sugar, although it's still bad for you, it still breaks down and is better for you than a processed corn product that is basically made in a vat.
Nice. So there's some docs to check out, everybody. Thank you for watching The Political Vigilante, and check out Comedy Film Nerds, where you can hear more of this kind of film talky.
Yes. Oh, and can I plug Conversations from the Abyss?
Sure.
Yeah. And if you're like the Twilight Zone, I have a scripted podcast called Conversations from the Abyss. Season 1 is available now, and I'm working on Season 2 right now. Yeah, so go to comedyfilmnerds.com and like and subscribe, and the links to everything are below, and share these videos. Thank you so much for watching.